Welcome to the Rise Up Show. Today I'm super thrilled to host someone who showed me that succeeding online is true, and not just true, but also it's very possible to make it big time, if you will. Um, he showed me how you can actually succeed in online, and he's really living proof. That is Dennis Ray. Welcome, Dennis, to the show.
Hi Eden, it's great to be here. I'm super thrilled to share my own story and my own insights with your listeners.
Great to have you here. And also, I want to make like a short intro about you. Dennis is actually the founder of Foxford Ventures, and he is a master when it comes to lead engineering and AI. He also the best when it comes to email marketing and innovation. Once again, Dennis, thank you for joining into the Rise Up Show.
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share my story, and I can't wait to answer all of your questions.
Awesome. So let's begin. So for the first question, what is it exactly email marketing? The people that doesn't know what email marketing is, and can you tell us a short version of who you are?
Well, email marketing basically, in a nutshell, it's sending out emails either through an automated follow-up series or a one-time broadcast, also known as a solo ad, in order to generate a response. And for email marketers, it's usually to generate a conversion, whether it's an opt-in, whether it's a sale, whether it's some sort of response. And me personally, my email marketing journey started at 2014. I was a web developer. I had my own company, and I was looking to grow, to create something new, because I felt like, I was making okay money, but I was kind of stuck, right? And what I did is I started researching internet marketing. I met my, at that time, a friend, now a business partner, Igor Kafetz, and together we started an online marketing agency. I joined his solo ad company, and we started basically delivering high quality solo ads, high quality targeted traffic, and my life has ever since then changed completely. I went from living in a small town, basically, with my mom doing nothing, into, you know, your people here can't see this, but living in one of the most expensive penthouses in the prime location of downtown Toronto, going on luxury vacations, and basically living that 4-hour work week laptop lifestyle.
That's amazing. And you started from 2014, that a lot of people think that's an easy road, that just to open a business and like that, then money flows. And also, with all those years, you must have a lot of obstacles, and you, maybe you didn't have the drive at first, but what kept you going? What was your why when you just started out there?
Well, for me, basically, I come from rather humble beginnings. I had a pretty rough childhood growing up. My grandparents died at a very young age,
That was unfortunate.
and actually, Eden here and we come from the same place in Arad, Israel. We grew up in the same building, and he actually witnessed me experience all of this turmoil and this bad period in my life. So my why was, I very much had to prove something and show to my grandparents that their sacrifice for me wasn't for nothing. And that was a very, very strong drive for me to succeed online, to make it, to become someone who they could, like, can be proud of. Yeah.
Wow. That's the. Thank you for sharing that. That's not taken for granted to share something like that. And I'm sure it was hard for you to accept all of that happening, but you still made it through, even with what happened, and all alone most of the time.
Yep, pretty much, pretty much.
So how did you came to push forward, even though you had no one to help you there. Like, you were on your own.
Well, I've had, some pretty challenging periods, a lot of periods of loneliness because, when you have these grandiose ambitions and you see yourself as someone who's not following the status quo, everyone are going right, you're going left, people tend to, make fun of you, tell you that, you're not gonna make it,
Yeah, right.
you're a dumbass. In my, if I'm not mistaken, they even put it in my yearbook.
Really?
Yeah, if you find my old yearbook, it's basically my teachers and classmates making fun of me.
That's fucked up.
But one of the making fun of me of trying to become someone.
Mhm.
But one of my the things that pushed me forward and helped me go through these rough patches was the fact that no one really believed in me, so I had to believe in myself, and that gave me the most drive to keep pushing forward. Yeah.
Damn. Damn, man. So how did you keep believing in yourself? Because that's very hard for people, especially when a lot of people laugh at them and tell them they will not succeed and that's not the time, that's not good enough, you're not good enough, you're stupid, how can you think you can succeed, and stuff like that, shit like that people all the time say. How can you keep believing in yourself?
Well, luckily, my mentality is such that the more people doubt me, the more people, try to put me down, the stronger I become and the more drive I have to prove them wrong.
Mhm.
And I think that, I've been lucky in that regard, and that allowed me to keep pushing forward despite everything. Yeah.
Right. So what do you suggest to the viewers right now if someone doesn't believe in himself and don't know if she will succeed in business?
I think that trying to develop that mindset of, the more people doubt you, the stronger you become, so that, doubt and hate and, all of that negative energy, instead of putting you down, it will fuel you. So
Mhm.
me personally, one of, the special tools, secret tools that I've used to accomplish that was meditation
Meditation.
and mindfulness, which I've learned by reading a shit ton of books. And yeah, I think I'm.
And I'm a witness to that.
Yeah, so off the top of my head, I would recommend reading 10% Happier
Mhm.
by Dan Harris and Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics. Yeah, and
Okay.
also I would recommend Stumbling Upon Happiness, which
Stumbling
is
Upon
also a pretty great book. And yeah, meditation, mindfulness, a very powerful tool.
So put those books right now. You got 3 books here that can change your life with believing in yourself and pushing yourself. And I'm sure it also helped you with stress a lot, because there is a lot of stress when we're dealing with businesses. So that helped you as well, right? Those books, or there are other books that you suggest.
Yeah, so what really helps me personally in times of uncertainty and stress, besides from the usual things like eating cheesecakes, right? That's reading books about inspirational leaders and inspirational people. I could mention people like David Goggins, right?
That's
An amazing person who's been an inspiration for millions of people in the past couple of years with his book Can't Hurt Me.
And he's crazy, this person.
Yeah, that book really impacted me personally. I can also mention guys like Leif Babin and Jocko Willing with Extreme Ownership and the Dichotomy of Leadership. And all these guys that have accomplished and have went through, crazy things, and when you take those things and you put them in your own life and you create this sort of perspective, then your problems, they're basically minuscule compared to what these people went through, and it's a lot simpler to gain perspective and reduce your anxiety and your stress.
Damn, love it, man. Thanks for sharing all those books. So, people, you got a lot of books here that you can use and with actionable tools. So, rewind, take notes, put it in your list, and go read them. Especially David Goggins. I love his book. He's fucking amazing. So, when it comes to beliefs, what was your limiting beliefs when you just started out, and how did you actually destroy them, kind of?
Well, my own personal limiting belief was like I always imagined myself as a successful, wealthy person, but I just couldn't wrap my mind around making the kind of money that, you know, makes you a wealthy person, right? I could imagine myself, you know, making $2,000-3,000 a month, right? But there was no way I could imagine myself making, you know, 20, 30, 100,000, $200,000 a month, 300,000, right? My mind just could not wrap itself around these numbers that people work like sometimes a decade to do, right? And I wanted to make this in a month. So one of my limiting beliefs was definitely about making large sums of money. And honestly, I see that with most people, right? If you grab someone off the street and ask them, you know, what's your dream income? I think, you know, the most people allow themselves to imagine is about $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And that's the ambitious people, right? You know, if you go back to my hometown in Israel where you and I grew up in, you're probably gonna see people saying stuff like $3,000 a month.
For
right?
them, it's like huge amount of money.
Yeah, so one of my limiting beliefs was that, and as soon as I was able to break that pattern, then, you know, the floodgates sort of opened. In my company, we started releasing more products. Me and my partner, we started generating, you know, better ideas, started taking more action and creating better products, and, you know, we haven't looked back since, and we were able to crush those numbers month after month and grow the company from just, you know, a small mom and pop's shop where it's me, him, and you know, a couple more guys to over 35 or maybe even 50 employees now. I'm not even in charge of that part of the business anymore, so I don't even know. Yeah.
And how did you break that pattern? What did you do?
So again, I will take you back to mindfulness, meditation, and connecting with your own limiting beliefs. So for me personally, I learned how to put those negative thoughts, those limiting thoughts aside, right, and focus on taking action. Because when you have those limiting beliefs, you're gonna focus on them, they're gonna take away from your mental energy, and then you won't be able to take the required action to actually achieve these numbers, right?
Right.
So what I did is basically push that aside using meditation, which focuses on noting a thought and then letting it flow through you, basically. And I focused on taking deliberate action day after day for quite a few years. Yeah.
Quite a few years.
Yeah, success doesn't come overnight, man.
And that's what most people think, like, I'm going to open up a business, then I will have money. I myself had that, especially in the first year, when I thought I will make tons of money in the first year. Then nothing happened. You get disappointed. And again, year after year, and nothing moves like you want it to move, like you believe it can move. So I love that you mentioned to use meditation. I myself use a lot of meditation to break through abundance mindset and also to really be more productive. And that's really helped a lot. And not just that, when you say about obstacles and businesses, a lot of us as business owner, especially I know about myself, when I just opened a business years from now, the first year were very hard, especially when you're thinking that every year that you will succeed and nothing happened. Then another year goes by. And that's where most of the people quit, around 98% of the people. That's a lot. Fuck it, I'm going to get a secure job, kind of, or what keep you pushing forward?
Well, honestly, I don't think I ever had that. I'm not sure why, but with my mindset, it was basically ride or die. So I was not, it never
Love
even,
that mindset.
yeah, it never even crossed my mind. I was all business. I knew that, I was not destined for a desk job. I was destined to, make it big. I was destined to, I don't know why, right? Maybe it's something in the way I grew up, but right from the start, I knew that, I'm gonna walk a different path and no day job for me, man.
Damn, love it, man. Love it. That's a true entrepreneur, people. So you're known as an expert when it comes to focus on the things that are kind of income action, the things that produce you money. And I know you for years, and you were a master with that. I saw like how you throw things away when you said, that won't give me money. I don't think I need to waste any more time." And most of us getting overwhelmed with a lot of information where there are tons of activity that are not income action. What do you suggest to our listener to how they can focus on the income actions?
Yeah, so many entrepreneurs and many online marketers that I personally come across with our company, I see that they focus a lot of their time on consuming, right? On education, on listening to shows like this instead of working.
Doing.
Yeah. So if that's you, turn this off right now and go work. No, I'm joking. I would say don't treat your consume time and your education time as your work time, right? You should take that time and put 30 minutes a day for that, an hour for that, but don't feel like that by consuming something like reading a book or watching a podcast, right? You can call that productive work. So the question you should be asking yourself is, am I just staying busy or am I actually productive? Is what I'm doing now the biggest money-making activity I can be doing? If I take this activity, what will it produce for me down the line, right? So for me, I noticed that I was doing stuff that were educating me, but they won't be producing any money for me.
True.
Right? And at the start of the business, at the start of the company, my philosophy is focus on the sales, focus on the money, bring in the money, and sales cure all. I don't know. I think Mark Cuban said that. Maybe he quoted that, but whatever. So sales cure all. So focus on those sales. Everything else will fall into place. That's my philosophy. And also with the money activity, the money producing, money making activities themselves, you have levels of money making activities. So there are small activities which you think are money making activities, and there are bigger activities. So you need to also make sure that you're not misfiring on that front, because if you focus on the small activities, you're missing the big piece of the pie. So that's also important.
So for example, what are the small ones, like reading a book and more things? What more, actually?
So for example, many people, they focus on the part where they buy a domain, they design their blog, they design their emails, while what they should be doing is actually write those emails, send those emails, reach out to people, close sales, right? But they're focusing on the small stuff which create a feeling of progress, right? Which is fake progress, because it's not getting you really anywhere near closer to your goal. So focus on the big activities. And a tip on how to find those activities is basically think about what you really don't want to do. Like the first thing that comes up every morning of what you really, really don't want to do that day, go ahead and do that. That's probably your money-making activity.
And do that first,
Do
on the
that.
morning.
Yeah, do that first.
That's what also a lot of mentors like suggest, like do the first hour of the day, that's the most important hour, and that was where you should focus on the things that you don't want to do.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So love it. And also I remember it well when it was a few years ago when we sat together in a coffee shop and he told me the exact words about especially reading a book is not getting you anywhere. I remember that. So really people focus on that because you can spend years on consuming and not really be active and really be out there. And one of my favorite phrases is done is better than perfect. Just send those emails, send those products, just do, and then after that correct and see what didn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
So right now we are approaching to the end of the interview and I want to ask you some different questions if you will. And if you can go back in time, what advice will you give to your younger self?
Isn't it obvious? Buy Bitcoin. Come on, Dennis. Buy Bitcoin. A lot of it. Also invest in Uber.
Always invest in Uber.
I'm joking, but no, I'm not joking. But yeah, what advice would I give myself? That's a tricky one. I actually didn't prepare for these questions. So, I would say take things easier, right? Don't stress about the small things, and being younger and not having any role model and basically, being out there on my own, I took a lot of the little things, a lot of the hiccups quite seriously before I discovered the whole, mindfulness and meditation and that way of mindset. And yeah, I definitely think that I would advise myself to take things easier, not get all hyped up over stuff, not get too upset, and things that seem big and the whole world is ending. At the end of the day, they're just small hiccups in the road, and when you look at it from the bigger picture perspective, you don't even notice these things. So, for sure.
In the long run.
Yeah.
Nice. Like a monitor of the heart rate when it goes down and up. You won't notice it on the regular basis. Love it, man. Love it. That's amazing. So, if you had one message to deliver across the history that will remain in history, what will it be?
I would love for people to be more like Canada.
Be more like Canada? What do you mean? Be more
Yeah,
like Canada?
I ever since I came to Canada and to Toronto, I've noticed the mindset and the way of life people have here, and it's so different than the man eat man mindset of Israel and Tel Aviv and where I come from. So I think the world needs a little bit more of Canada, that kindness, that connection, the warmth people have here. So yeah, I think that if the world had a little bit more of that, and that resonated through history, yeah, I think things would be better for us.
Like be more kind with other
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Really care about what are other people. And actually that's amazing. I've been here over a week and I was shocked when I saw people go around the edge to help you even with the smallest things. That blew my mind here in Canada. So that's amazing. So Dennis, again, thank you for being here. And for people that want to know more about you, how they can approach you?
Yeah, man. You can just find me on Facebook, Dennis Ray, and whatever you need, you're welcome to message me, and we'll see how we can take it from there. Yeah.
Awesome. So again, Dennis, thank you very much for investing that time with us here. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you for everything here. Time with me and allow us to do it here in your magnificent house. And people, if you like this content, just give me a thumbs up that I know that you want more content of this. And if you're watching on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button to never miss out an episode, and have an amazing and productive day. And I really appreciate you guys as well for being here and invest your time with me here. And again, Dennis, thank you for being here.
Sure thing. Love it.